Chill, change. It's fine. Hello.
Alright, we're back. Well, back in live. Alright, let's get this, man. It's time to take it up a level. You say something?
What up?
Sir. Again?
What up?
Alright. I like the new angle, yo.
Yup.
You'll know what I'm going for, right? Like,
You showed us. Right?
yeah. Wait, let me show you one of those. The same thing is a night shot. When he used to trade like London session. Or raised nothing. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes. Used to be like in a completely like, I think it's like this. You see the vibe?
Yeah.
It's like RGB. Yeah. But this window used to be closed, like. But yeah.
The thing is, because he's facing it from down,
Yeah.
it looks more wider. I mean, obviously he probably has like a wide lens and all that. But
Yeah. This is very old. But he stopped live streaming, I don't know why. I mean, that's the same thing people would be saying about us, but yeah. Alright. Let's get this party on the road. Alright. 1 second. Top. Left. Okay. Dun. Alright, I can see my charts clearly, right?
Yep.
Alright. Anyway, so this week was an interesting week. What did y'all catch any trades?
None winning.
yeah, same. I took one
Yeah.
trade. It went 4 pips in profit. I waited for it to hit 5 so I can take whatever, partial or whatever. But it never hit 5, it just went back. And I closed
Okay.
that 2 pip loss.
Alright. Well, I mean, it was a complex week, honestly, trading week. So when you look at it, come over to the monthly time frame. So now if you notice, like, let's just look at GBP JPY for example. We've come to this monthly rejection zone, okay? So we're talking about, okay, so this is 2016 May, 2018 Jan, okay? What do? We came and rejected the same place in May of this year, right? And so now since we have this support that is built down here, then let's go to the weekly time frame, and we have a weekly resistance that's built up here, right? So now the buyers and the sellers have to determine which side they're gonna go. So guess what we have? We have like a freaking face off, you know. It's just ranging up and down. It's not movement like this. It's just movement like this, for that matter of fact. So yeah. But whereas GBP USD, we actually call some good stuff. Like the idea was right. We had a good thought process and idea, where I was actually looking for sells right from the top after marking it out on the 4-hour right here. So mark this zone out for sells, and you could have taken some really nice sells back down once we started breaking. So do you see when we are at the top of a range? Can you see this tippity top? Many times you will have this kind of consolidation. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
When we're at the tippity top, consolidation. And that usually happens. Look at this also. Tippity top consolidation. Tippity top consolidation. So the market has to consolidate in order to have a big move, right? Like how we trade normally, lads, is like we wait for it to consolidate, make a resistance, right? This is how we would normally trade, right? So we wait for it to make a resistance, we wait for it to make a support, and we wait for it to break out, right? So this is what we do on the 30-minute time frame, right? And so when you look at it on the weekly time frame, when you reach a zone, right? So we're reaching this rejection zone. Can you see this? So just imagine how much more it has to range. Like, so it has to range probably on the daily time frame or the 4-hourly time frame. So when we look at it over here, it seemed pretty it seemed feasible to range on the 4-hourly time frame, right? And so when you look at that, it's just like you got to understand that the market will range on the 4-hourly time frame to break out hard. So when you look back, we had this range, we formed this consolidation, right? Consolidation after consolidation. When we broke out, it dropped like 300 pips, 250 pips. You see that? 300 pips. So you get the bigger moves on the higher time frames definitely, but you can't avoid this consolidation. Look at this consolidation from here to here, right over here.
Back.
Yeah. But guess what? It was a small range, and then when we broke out around 270 pips, etc. So when you look at it, the market has to range in order to give you those fire moves, you know. 1 second. So when we do pre-market analysis right now, we're just gonna focus on what's really important. Okay, we're just gonna focus on how we could find these zones. Could we find breakout zones? Trust me, GBP JPY, I was almost in sells right from the top. I would have been up like 85 pips right now, but I didn't hold it because like I was nervous, you know. 1 second. This gold thing, yo. 850 candle wick. So you see how buy stops can work, Prani, buy limits. Can you see this zone?
Yeah.
Someone would have just placed a buy limit at 1680 right over here. Price came down, tapped in a 1680, and it's gone back up 800 pips. So they would assume that this level is so strong that price can't handle below it. So that's what you want to see and notice. Now we're just going to do some analysis. Okay, we're just going to get some pre-markets in. Let's just look at how clearly we can read price action. Make sure we're doing a good job with it. We're gonna also do some like slight back testing, see how we could have taken trades on GJ, GU, etc. How we could have made most of the week, compared to what we actually did. I think it's important that we see, how we did. Yeah. Because it's good to prepare for the week, and get things kind of sorted at least before you head into the week. This week we have to absolutely crush it. Let's just get this out. Alright, so we're just gonna hit it off. Absolutely just smash this analysis out of the park. We just need to focus up, guys, okay? There is only one goal in mind, that we want to learn how to tell the stories of all of these things, okay? We want to learn how to tell stories. We want to make sense, that trading it off of patterns, etc. What you're trading off is understanding what price action is doing, right? You want to know what economics, fundamentals are doing. So let's stick to economics and fundamentals compared to just trading off of patterns and stuff like that, So let's just take a look at it. Let's literally get down to business. Change you back. Alright, no problem. Let me just show you. Okay, 1 second. Dun dun dun. Alright, can you see Forex Factory?
Yeah.
Okay, can you see it? On the side right here. Alright, so we're just gonna take a look at Forex Factory and see how we could assume and look at the news for this week, right? So we're ready. So guys, anytime in the YouTube comments or whatever, just let me know. Just tell me if you want me to explain something or you want me to do something. I don't mind explaining, but let's just have a fun time and educate ourselves, deeper than we did before. So yeah. Anyway, so looking at it, we're looking at a new week. So we're looking at GBP, JPY, GBP, USD, and gold spot. And so that's gold USD. And so we're actually looking at a very interesting week ahead. Last week was a lot of consolidation, so this week should be a lot better. Anyway, so looking at the news. Okay, so let's just look at the news. There you go. Okay, so we're just gonna look at what's up for this week. So the thing is, you always want to be vigilant of what is going to happen, right? And so especially with news, it can really push the market. News is what drives the market up and what drives the market down. especially where fundamentals is concerned, right? Because you need to know what is happening in each country in order to determine value for a currency, right? So if US is doing trade really well, that means I believe that the US dollar will be going up. So that's like a basic understanding, right? And so let's just look at it. Tomorrow morning 4:30 we have GBP, 5:20 JPY, 10 a.m. JPY. We have Euro news throughout the day. 6 p.m. we have USD. 7 p.m. we have GBP news. So when we look at it, these are all yellow folders that are moderately important, not too important. They do affect price movement, but they don't affect it to a massive extent, you know. So what we're looking at is, okay, so we're looking at the preliminary GDP price index for JPY, GBP, the right move, HPI, that's month on month, year on year, quarter on quarter. So then we're looking at German Baba monthly report, Empire State Manufacturing Index, CB leading index month on month. So those are okay. Those are not that important news that we have to keep in mind exactly. We just have to stay focused to the art, you know, of what we're doing. Let's look at Tuesday. Tuesday seems really important only because you have yellow and orange folders. Sorry, red and orange folders. Look at it, 1:30 a.m. we have USD news. That's alright, that's not really important to be honest. 10 a.m. we have JPY news, GBP news, 11:30 a.m. Okay, so this should be important only because these are unemployment rates. Can you see that? Unemployment rate, average earning index, you know, those really impact price for currencies, you know. Unemployment rate, because unemployment rate would be a massive thing in our country, you know. So we need to make sure that we are understanding this the right way. We have the euro, flash employment change, flash GDP, quarter on quarter news. We have USD core retail sales and retail sales month on month. We have industrial production month on month and capacity utilization. Then we have Powell speaking, you know. So Tuesday is a very important day for the USD. So that means looking at GBP USD and gold USD, you're keeping in mind the USD impact, alright? The news which is going to impact. So when we look at it, core retail sales, what are we expecting? We're expecting lower numbers. Retail sales, we're expecting negative numbers, right? Well, let's see. Okay, yeah, we're expecting negative numbers. So when we look at history, you know, whenever it went up it was positive, when it went down it was negative. So we're expecting good numbers for industrial, but we're expecting bad numbers for retail sales. So this should really help gold push up, okay, because it's not giving strength to the US dollar, right? So then Powell speaks, whatever trash he says, you know, would actually help. Then the next day, Wednesday, we have JPY news, which is yellow file packet, so that's no problem. Then we have CPI year on year. Okay, guys, I'm telling you, this is a very important news time for GBP. So GBP, JPY, GBP, USD, they're gonna be absolutely flying or crashing during this time. We're expecting a lesser number than before. So I think which one is, yeah, previous time was, okay, let me just close. Previous time was 2.5, we're expecting only 2.3%. Previous time was 2.3, we're expecting only 2.1. Previous time's PPI input was 0.1 and they're expecting 0.5. So that's pretty good. So if you look at it, it looks like GBP, they're trying to balance the economy with this, you know. So they're giving like HPI year on year all positive. You see 11.3 they're expecting, and the previous year was 10. And CPI it's 2.3 and 2.5. So you see how they're trying to balance it out. They're trying to not let it just flash crash, which we should talk about definitely. So anyway, coming down to Thursday, so we have FOMC meeting minutes at 11:30 p.m. on Wednesday, so yeah, that'll be interesting. After that, we have on Thursday, we have USD unemployment claims. Again, unemployment claims is massive, guys. It's very important to understand unemployment claims. 1 second. My WhatsApp is going off. Yep. Alright, it's very important to understand unemployment claims. So they're expecting good news, so that should drive US dollar up. So that means GBP USD is gonna go down during this news if it comes out this way. And yeah, gold also should fall, giving the US dollar more strength. And then on Friday we end the week with some GBP news, moderately important news at 11:30 a.m. So this week we're not looking to trade GBP at market open, we're looking to trade GBP at pre-markets. Okay, if you notice, 11:30 a.m. market open is at 12:30 a.m. so there you go, London session 12:30 our time, so that's London open, but we want to trade it during pre-London at 11:30 a.m. Okay guys, sorted?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Alright, so now just doing some artwork. We're just gonna try and understand, okay? So the way we break it down, the way we do our thing, so it's very important that we understand what we're doing, right? So going to the monthly time frame, let's just look at what the charts are telling us, okay? So we closed massively bullish, we closed right at the tippy top, you know, where we had this resistance right over here, which we are respecting and rejecting. So 1 second. Alright, so let's just look at it. We have this resistance, right? And so what do? We came up to this resistance and closed, correct? So we came to this resistance, we closed. What we're noticing in this region is this resistance is a very strong resistance, right? We've come and rejected this area multiple times. So since we're on the monthly time frame, and you know, things can be touchy, I'm just gonna put one line at 156 flat. You see that? 156 flat. We've come up to this region, rejected it multiple times. Okay, so now I'm gonna need your guys' help, okay? So price closed bullish, we had a pullback, we created a support, we continued up, okay? So we have a support right over here, correct? And that is at 151 flat, so that's giving us a psychological level. Price came down and did what is my question. So this price came down, this price came down, left a massive wing. So what is price actually doing?
Question for the group or individual?
For y'all, for the group, yeah, for y'all to just answer.
Right now, it's rejecting that support level.
It's
which is
rejecting the support, correct? What do you think, Change?
Yeah, same.
Same?
Yeah, I said it first.
So when we look at it, wait, let me just increase your volumes. Yeah, okay. So when we look at it, we are rejecting this resistance, we're rejecting this support, yeah? And so the rejection, as you can see over here, could be anywhere from here to here. Can you see that? Anywhere from here to here, this rejection is going on. And so when we look at it, we are having a 200 zone rejection, 200 pip zone rejection, you know. So that's why we need to look at up in our game when we're trading in some of these zones, right? We're trading firstly right at the top where we're trying to decide whether to continue down or break out. If we do respect this support and break out through the top, we're just gonna fly up. So probably we're gonna have one obstruction right over here, but we're still gonna push up. So this is on the monthly. So the monthly is telling us the month of July wasn't strong enough to break this support, right? Month of July, we came down, we closed back up, all the way up over here. So the month of August has started, so we're just waiting to see how August is. So let's go to the weekly time frame and see. So on the weekly time frame, we have a resistance right over here, okay, at I would say 153.200. okay, we're using just psychological levels and use it, getting through with it. So when I look at it, can you see this zone? Can you see how price is rejecting and respecting this zone? So that's why we're using the 200 level, okay? So if you look at it, we have a support right over here. So when you look at it, we had a monthly support right over here, but the weekly support has moved up to here at 151,500, and our weekly support would be brought down here to 675, 650, you could say. Okay, and so when let's look at it, okay, let's just look at it. That's our weekly zone. So we've drawn our weekly zone. We had the support down here, we had a resistance up here. Let's go to the daily time frame. Daily time frame, can you see how it's respected that region, the 200 region, so well?
Yeah.
So our support is on point, right? We have a really good support, we have a really good resistance. So now let's just look at this. Now we can draw our zones, okay? So I'm just gonna draw 4 pip zones. So we're gonna go 220 to 180. So 153, 220 to 153, 180. Okay. So we've continuously come into this zone and rejected it. So can you see how the psychological level of 200 is playing such an important role? Right over here too. So now we could even bring 200 up to 250, 280. Okay. But what we need to do is slowly go down the time frames and understand what is happening. Okay, so our supports are down here. We had a good run, so let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so the resistance has played out well at 200. We're continuing to look at it. Okay, so now what happened was we had the support right over here. 4-hour, right? 4-hour time frame support right over here, which was a very strong support if you ask me. Can you see this price come in into here, price faking out right over here, price. You see how important both these zones are? And guess why they're important? Because both are psychological levels. Okay, one is 153 flat right over there, okay, and one is down over here at 700. Alright, so y'all see the importance right over there. So y'all can only imagine that we need to break out of this range, right? So the only thing we could have tried to attempt is these cells. Can you see this? So we could have tried to assume some cells right over here. So I'm just gonna go deeper into this now. Alright, okay, so now let's just look at this. Okay, so this was the frustrating range on, I think this was, what was it, Monday, August 10th or Tuesday. So yeah, I think that was Tuesday, August 10th, where we were stuck in such a tight range, 7 pip range. Can you believe it? 4-hour time frame, we were stuck for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 and a 5 running 40 hours. Yeah, it fires a 40 hours we were stuck in a 7 pip range. So you get why I told you guys not to trade in this region?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just plain dangerous, guys. It's just playing with fire at that point, you know. So when you look at it on the 3 hour, this is what I was doing. So I took buys over here, right over here, and guess what? I was expecting it to hit 10 pips, but you know, it just had to stop me out. So as soon as it went up, I put my stops to break even, because firstly we're right at the tippity top of the range, right? What I would say is, do not take buys at the top of a range, right? We're right at the top. For me, I was hoping that after this consolidation, we really just break out, you know, super hard, and probably hit one of these tops. And so yeah, so we rejected super hard, we came back down, and this is where I got some of the most brilliant sells, closing below consolidation, right over here. And those cells worked out so beautifully, you know, when you look at the other time frames. So it was over here, I'm guessing. So you see how the trade didn't come anywhere in this range. We had to wait for breakout. One second. Alright. So you see how we had to wait for this breakout?
Yeah.
Right over here. And so looking at it, we could have taken this level, taken over 980 right over there, because that's what held resistance for. Let's just look at it. So we held support right over there for 1 day. So 24 hours we held support right over here. So can you imagine that? So when you're looking at it, we held support for 1 entire day over here. So breaking out of this was just absolute gold. You see that? Breakout, take the trade. Even if you had 5 pip stops, that was good enough, you know. And there you go. We just broke out massively. So you see how you could have held this trade. Prani, you remember what I was telling you about taking long-term trades from the top?
Yeah.
This is the things you'll have to look for now. So now what is happening is we're approaching another bottom, right? Where we've bought off many times from the zone. So guess what we're gonna be looking for? We're gonna be looking for that bounce back, you know? Or if we break down, we're looking for this movement. But you see what happened? You could have made 100 pips in just 2 days. Taking a sell from the top of the range, waiting for it to break range 1. So what you're noticing first is we made a high slash a fake out, right? We made a lower high, right? We made a low, and we made a lower low, and as soon as we broke out of the range, we made the lowest low possible, right? Breaking out the range was signifying that we're gonna make a even deeper lower low. You see that, guys?
Yep.
So you'll see how we're just trying to follow our plan and take trades. All we want to do is follow our plan and take trades, okay? This would have been such a beautiful trade. For me, I closed out at 20 pips right over here. So you can see how much we missed out on. And so this is what y'all need to look at, the breakouts, the movement. And so let's just analyze it for this coming week, okay? Okay, so we're going to go back to the daily time frame. So daily time frame, guess what? We have our resistance up here, 153, 200, right? We have a support that is formed down here below, right over here. 1 second. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright. So on the daily time frame, can you see this? We're coming to this support where we previously bounced off to continue up. So let's just go down to the 4 hourly time frame. 4 hourly also, we're kind of approaching that region, right? We had like a support over here, but we've closed below that support, so we don't need to really look at that anymore. What I'd mark out is this psychological level. You see that? And this week we have a lot of GBP news, right? If you all remember, if you all notice from the news terminal.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of GBP news. And so what you also see is nice clean moves down here. Can you see this? We have nice clean moves in this region. So this region is something we're really looking on capping on. Okay, we want to really cap on this region. And when you look at it, okay, 500 is the level, but can you see the 4-hour time frame? We have something a little further up over here, probably like 600, let's say. Continue down, go down to the 3-hour. Okay, let's go down to the 2-hour. So 2-hour, we formed a support right over here, 980, and we have our targets down here at 600. Okay, so we're basically looking for like 40 pip sells if we do get those sells. So just going back up, 3-hour time frame, we have our resistance, right? Let's just go to the 4-hour time frame and confirm that. Readjust. So can you see how important this resistance is on the 4-hour? Look at this region. Support, fake out, resistance, resistance, fake out, resistance, fake out, fake out, support, resistance. So can you see how important this level is?
Yeah.
So mark that out. Go down to the 3-hour, yeah, 3-hour, so that's the resistance slash support. Go down to the 2-hour, 2-hour. Look at the 2-hour. Break, retest, continuation. You see how beautiful that is? The structure is maintained, you know, that's what you see. You have to use multiple time frame analysis for this, you know. So when you look at it, this closed that way. What time was it? 7:30 in the evening. We had a massive crash at for the next 4 hours on Friday evening. So when you look at it, we push down, yes. So we have this support down here at 950. So you see how I'm readjusting that support as we keep going down, right?
Yep.
And okay, let's just look at the higher time frame. Have we had a bounce from this area? Possibly not that much of a bounce from this area. And let's just see, let's just check it out. All right, 1 second, lads. What's for dinner?
Yet to find out.
Is it special Independence dinner?
If we did have
Today single people just be having so much fun, man. Okay.
Why aren't you having fun?
Yeah, definitely. I saw that comment for me.
No, it's not. It sounded like you weren't having fun.
Hey, with you guys, it's always fun. Okay, black pepper honey chicken bowl is what I'm gonna do tonight. Wait.
It's
Dude, Pranav,
Yeah.
we're never going to any steakhouse other than Miller's.
Are you sure you don't try Somalia?
I wanna try. Let's see. Let's see. So change when you come in with us to Miller's.
Not saving now only when we started.
I should start starving now.
Hey, Pranav, I will place a bet. $100 says change won't finish.
I mean,
I think you should place more.
otherwise,
What?
nothing changed. Come with me.
Yeah, just some friendly banter. Completely friendly banter. Anyway, so let's just get back. Alright, so we have our resistance up in this region, right? We have our support down over here. Guess what we have to the left? We have what we would call clean traffic, right? So 950 to 600, that's around 30 pips, I would say. Yeah, 25 pips. So coming down to the half an hour, yeah, same thing. Can you see how clean this region is? It's just so clean. I really love it. So we're just gonna mark a zone out. Just a small little 2 pip zone to make sure we're doing the right things. Alright, so you'll see this. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. So I would say buys above this region. Yeah, so to be safer, I would say above, above 200, of course. Right over here. Alright, so guys, one more thing is, okay, I'm just gonna explain something to you all real quick. Okay, it's gonna be super interesting. So we have this, okay, we have this, what is a range, right? We've moved up and down in this range, right? So we formed a range, and then we had a breakout from this range, right? That was this breakout, correct? So this is what we would call a range 1 breakout. Okay, range 1 breakout. So what we could say is, let me just put this. Range 1 breakout. Okay, right over here. And so then as soon as we exited this range, we had this whole other range right over here. You see that? We had another range. And so what has happened is, over here you have highs, lows. We had higher highs and higher lows, right? So when we broke out of this, we still had these lows to deal with, right? So over here, when we broke down, all we had was one set of highs and one set of lows. You see me? So we just had these highs, and then we had these lows at the breakout. You get what I mean? So for the bullish structure, we had more bullish structure over here. Yikes. Because we had double the highs and lows, right? So we had higher highs, higher lows. And over here, all we had was one lower high and one lower low in order to take ourselves from range 1 breakout, right? This range 1. So what a lot of people do is they wait for this range 2 breakout. You see what they do? They wait for that double confirmation. So like, we're in a bullish market right now, heading up. They don't feel safe to take sells at the range 1 breakout. right? So they wait for range 2, and guess what? Whoever took sells at range 2 breakout, once we close like this, they also were profitable. Can you see that? Because there was a real high probability of it continuing down, and from range 2 you can see we just continued crashing down. And so now we formed more lower highs and lower lows than the previous, but some of them, in order to feel comfortable, they waited for range 2 breakout rather than just range 1. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So these are certain things you can look at, right? So what is the probability of price continuing bullish if we are going to make a third range of higher highs and higher lows? You see what I mean? And what is the probability of it making its first range? So like over here, you know, right now we're down over here, we're in this small minor range right over here. As soon as it hits this level breakout, do you believe that it's gonna just pump right up? You get what I mean? Because that's just a range 1 breakout. You see what I mean? That would be our first higher low somewhere over here, and our first higher high up here. So that's basically a gamble, right? Because you're trying to say that the market is going to reverse from here to a bullish market, right?
Yeah.
Whereas people would wait for it to break out range 2. You see what I mean? They would wait for it to break out range 2, because then you've created the second set of higher highs and higher lows. So when you break out of range 2, you're expecting the third move of higher highs and higher lows. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you see how important it is to look at different stuff, right? Either you could be part of this first gang. The reason I was part of this first gang was sell high, buy low. You get what I mean? So we were selling from a high, so I was expecting volume to continue to push it down. So I got that volume move. But given it on like any other day, if this consolidation and everything had to happen in the middle of this range, like let's just say somewhere over here, I would have 100% waited for a range 2 breakout. I would wait for these ultimate lows to be broken right over here in order to take my sales down. So you see what I mean? It's like, it's a different art altogether, you know, trying to expand your knowledge and understanding of these things. So that's range 1 to breakout, what a lot of people use. So looking at this, I would take this move and break out up here if we are in a volume time. Okay, so if we're like at a New York Open or a London Open or something like that, that's the only time I would take this breakout of range 1. Okay, because that means we could just fake out like 10 pips, take my 10 pips and continue down. You get what I mean? So over here I'd be very quick to put my stops at break even, whereas when I sell, I would be a little more lenient, because we're in a bearish market, so I'm willing to take those sells down here. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's what we need to focus on. And so look at this clean traffic to the left, focus up on it and try to make sure you capture it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is that we're just gonna mark this out. If we break down, we could hit this level and, you know, bounce back to the top, right? Can you see what has happened in this region multiple times? So right over here, do you all see, guys, that this is a range 1 breakout on the 4 hour? Can you see this?
Yeah.
That's a
I
range.
mean, it's not broken out yet.
Yeah, it's not broken out. Last time, what did we see happen? We thought it was a range 1 breakout, but it broke up. So what I'm looking at is There's a second range right over here with the support. Can you see the support right over here? And now this is a new range up here. Can you see this? Okay. So the first range is from here. The resistance to support right over here. Can you see resistance? It formed support right over here. It formed resistance. It formed support. It came down. It formed a second support. Okay. So this is the support for range 1. Can you all see this?
Yep.
And this is the support for range 2. Can you see these lows?
Yeah.
So I would be confident for sells below range 2, to be honest. Because look at what happened in range 1. We rejected off it and continued up. So what we need to see clearly is we could break out. Okay. Retest this level to continue down, which should be a very good move. But what could happen is we could come to this level or this level and shoot right back up. Right?
Yeah, possible.
Yeah, in this region, it's prone to massive rejection. Massive rejection up. Massive rejection. So you want to be sure that you're in this region below here, which hasn't massively rejected up here. Right? So we push down, and then your next caution level would be here, in case you have a massive rejection up there. So you get me? And in the process, you're looking at weekly time frame. Next week, are we going to close at this support? If we close at this support, then we have a possibility of rejection. So you're going to have to keep all those things in mind. But right now, what you want to do is be very careful with GJ. Okay? We have a nice move. Take these cells down here. Okay? Cap on those cells real well. But be careful with GJ because we're coming to another zone. Our ideal trading zone, guys, is right over here. You get what I mean? Because it's between a resistance and a support. Right? So whether we like it or not, we have to cover that region between the resistance and the support. So here we've had some pretty good moves, drops and everything. So the next region would be this middle region, right? So if we get good volume from the news, then we could just look at a straight crash right down. But be careful, watch out, plan well, go to multiple time frames. Last week I had to go to like crazy time frames to really analyze and figure out what I wanted to take. So yeah. Okay. So that is basically GJ for you. Be really careful. What I would suggest is look for these cells down here, 35 pip cells. If we get a rejection of this level, look for like 80 pip buys at least. Take your 10 pips but leave runners. Alright?
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is solid. So I was just thinking, I gave you all guys like enough time to trade and like figure out how everything works, you know, just the way MetaTrader, TradingView, to spot like price action, lower highs, lower lows and stuff like that, to spot what a range is. So y'all notice what a ranging market looks like now, right? And so what I needed guys to do now is we're gonna take our education to the next level. Okay, I want y'all to figure out what is your best trading time. Okay, is it at a market open, or is it like I don't know, any like random session, is it like, for me, I look at London session open and I look at New York session open. And of course, if we're trading Asian, we look at Asian session open. But what about y'all? When do y'all find the most feasible to trade? So you need to find that space and time, because that's the time you're able to give your thought process and everything to trading. And so going into this next phase of your trading education is where I'm gonna take y'all through I've done market analysis with y'all, but I'm gonna take you all deeper into multiple time frame analysis. Okay, So running through the time frames and searching for those movements, searching for where you can find volume zones and stuff like that. So we're gonna go from time to trade, so I'm gonna show you all how to measure the average daily pip range, for the week and everything. And oh wait, I minimize that. Yeah, here we're gonna go into understanding news. Okay, so what I was telling Gypsy also is every important news session we're gonna come together and we're gonna paper trade it. Okay, and I'm gonna show you all how to trade the news by being smart, feasible, and trading without being scared of the news, basically. Okay, and so after that we're gonna go into risk management. I'm looking at September. Okay, I want to take you all into risk management September, because that is basically devising a trading plan for you all almost, and then we can talk about trader psychology, etc. But right now I've given you all space and time to figure out how this system works. Now it's time to implement it. Okay, you all have figured it out, right? You all are fluent with MetaTrader and TradingView.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you all are able to spot trends, etc. And so you all are able to spot entries. You're able to look at various time frame analysis. So now we got to step it up a level. We got to take our game further in understanding economic, social concepts, constructs. It's like, honestly, we could have made so much money by how much we know about Nvidia when Nvidia was releasing their RTX 30 series cards, right? Because we knew the demand for it. We knew that there was a certain amount of demand where RTX cards are concerned, especially where we're talking about like crypto mining is concerned, right? So it's important for us to use the same understanding. Demand and supply is such a basic understanding where you all got to realize that if, let's say, US is making vaccines, people want vaccines, right? So the demand for those vaccines are going to go up in various countries. So that's where we need to bring our logic, our understanding of economics, basic common sense also, I would say, logical reasoning, in order to figure out how a lot of economics works. Okay, don't listen to like any of those videos that say you can become a massive trader by just trading news, trade like the big banks. No one knows how the big banks trade. Okay, all we know that big banks push the market, and when they're pushing the market, we want to take our money out of the market. You get what I mean? When they're pushing it, we're always looking for that 10 pips. So if you notice, all our good successful trades were taken in a span of 10 to 15 minutes to 25 minutes, right?
Yep.
It's at that market push. So that's why you need to look at it and see whether you're a type of person who is looking for that 10-15 minute push, that the big banks are doing, or that institutions are doing, or are you that person to take or sell right from the top and wait patiently, which is another art. Waiting is an art. Patience is exactly what trading is all about, right? And so we need to step our game up so hard. Like last week I had marked this region out, okay, and I went to the 3-hour time frame. Okay, we had our resistance right here. We had this 1 hour already close above here, right? But if you look at it on any other time frame, it's closed below over here, right? So you want to see when is a 1 hour candle closing for a 3-hour time frame candle. You see the difference? When is this 1 hour candle gonna close for a 3-hour time frame candle? So you see how I can just ignore this entire fake out?
Yeah.
I can ignore that entire fake out because this is my resistance. This 1 hour candle is not only closing for the 1 hour, it's closing for the 2 hours, 3 hours and 4 hours also, if I'm not mistaken. There you go. You see what I mean? So that breakout of the range itself was what enabled me to take a trade on the 1 hour time frame closer over here. So you see, when trading gets a little tough times, when there's ranges y'all gotta look at, y'all need to look at how y'all can use multiple time frame analysis, okay, to exploit the market. You don't want to be the one that is caught out of the market. You don't want to be the one that is not optimizing your knowledge, not optimizing your utility. There's a reason why 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour time frames, you know, on MetaTrader 5 we have like 45 minutes, we have like, you know, 30 minutes, we have 15 minutes. So go in, we have 6 hours, 8 hours. Utilize all those time frames. Look at how you can use it, you know. So when 1 hour is not giving you your trade, go ahead, look at the other time frames, you know. So that's what I'm trying to get you guys to do, to is like move outside this construct into a deeper, heavier construct, okay. Let's just look at GBP. USD, looks like we're rejecting this level, right? Monthly time frame level. Yeah, it looks like we're rejecting that level. It looks like we're gonna be stuck between this zone for a bit. Maybe we could look at this support. Go to the weekly time frame. Okay, the support's right there. Okay, resistance right over here. Let's go to the daily time frame. Okay, what we're noticing that weekly is all the way up here. It's at 139,700. Okay, so we have a support down here, so I would say it's right over here on the edge of this, you know. Yeah, once we break below this level we should be good to go down, only because can you see this is a resistance and this is also a support. Alright, so what we're seeing is a massive rejection of which level. So now we need to just smash this level up. Daily time frame, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yep.
Rejection, 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 rejection. So you see why you have to be so careful. You have to look at your multiple time frame analysis. What I'm gonna do with you guys is, in every morning when we wake up, we're just gonna try and wake up early, and we're gonna look at how we can spot this. Okay, I'm gonna make y'all do the analysis right from the monthly time frame down to the lower end time frame. So look at the 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame also support, support, rejection, rejection. Beautiful, just bouncing off this daily region, which you could have caught in easy, yeah, easy 50 pips. That's a 70 pip move, easy 50 pips. So let's go to the 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame, we're waiting for a breakout above here, right? So what we have over here is a resistance. You see this? So once we break out the resistance, you can choose whether you want to take it out on range 1 breakout or range 2 breakout, because as you've seen, we've broken out of this region, but we've also come back. But breaking into this region, okay, so this is your range right now, correct? Once we break above this, we're breaking into this range, correct?
Range. Yeah.
Right, so you could expect that same push coming up to this level. So that's another 50 pips. So 10 pips is super easy within this construct. So let's just look at it. Okay, we'll bring that back. Okay, we have our 4 hour resistance right over here. Okay, so that's going to be 850, and I'm gonna take it all the way to 900. Okay, so you see my zone. So this is my zone. I'm gonna be looking for some sells, but if we do break out, we can look for some buys up to this level. Okay. Going down to 3R, 2R, 1R. Yeah, you can see this level is super prominent. So you all can look at taking some buys up to this level. That's GBP USD. We have beautiful clean traffic that's formed. Okay. So what you would want is something like this, right? A range to be formed, a small breakout, and a candle moving right down. So tell me, what are the different confluences which would okay, I'll tell you what, let me ask you this question. Okay, first we'll ask Change, then we'll ask Gypsy. Tell me, what would you primarily be looking for in this market? So are you looking for buys, sells? Why do you feel that one of the biases is stronger than the other bias? Okay, so just tell me that, Change. What are you looking for? Why do you see one of the biases is stronger than the other?
One sec.
No problem. Just look at your GBP USD chart and let me know.
I'd probably go buys.
Okay.
Kinky fellow.
What?
Kinky fellow.
Alright, so
Okay.
mainly because we've been having like a bearish market structure from like from the beginning of August,
Yep.
I suppose.
From the ending of July to the beginning. Yeah.
So I feel like we still have, what is this, on a 1 hour time frame.
Yep.
I feel like there's an opportunity to go up to get up to like the 200 or like
Yeah.
150 or something, that level. But yeah, gradually it might go. But my current thing would mean marking would be around 950 or something.
Yeah.
So that is like 15.
That's your resistance, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's like 20 pips, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd wait for it to break my first resistance.
Yeah.
So that'll be about like 15 pips. I think that is at 862 on that range which we formed.
Yep.
So that's like our current highest.
Highest point, like kind of
Higher,
thing.
yeah. So I'll wait for it to break that. I'll wait for the candle to close after
Alright.
that.
Sounds
As
good.
you said, right? Look for a range.
Yeah.
And then wait for it to close after that. And then if the candle after that has clean traffic instead of like forming a range,
Yeah.
I take a sell once we
Okay.
hit
Fair enough.
950. I mean by
So if you hit 950 over here, you take a buy once you break out, basically.
yeah.
Alright. That's nice. That sounds good. And sorry, I missed your sells. You said if we range and then break down, right? Below the street.
Yeah, breakdown.
And Gypsy, what's your view on the market? Why? Okay, wait 1 second. Change. Which one do you think, the buys or sells, have a higher probability of working out? I'm just gonna leave the chart up on the screen. I'm not gonna put any hints.
Yeah, no, I'm actually looking at my chart.
Okay, that's good. Okay, I'll draw it after Gypsy is done. Tell me.
Careful while drawing. You remember what happened last time. Wait, you were
I feel
live?
like we have
Yep.
a temporary high probability of buys
Okay.
and probably like a long-term sell.
Hey, choose one.
So
Alright.
so you have you believe that there's a higher probability in buys, and you said, tell me. So there's lesser probability of sells this week, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
no, wait.
Hey, make up your mind.
Alright, I'm gonna say sells, yeah.
You just said buys.
No. See, that's what I meant. Like we have, see, a higher probability of short-term buys is what I mean. Does that makes sense?
Okay, do you want to buy this week or sell this week?
I'll buy answer.
Bro.
See, wait, okay, this level of 950 or whatever, in the past we've seen like a lot of resistances where it's rejected.
Yeah.
So I feel like
So higher probability sells.
Confusing.
no
you.
high. Okay.
Come on, Chase, don't play with me, boy.
Okay,
He's playing with
I'm
you.
confirming on buys.
Alright.
Higher
Go ahead.
probability on buys.
Higher
this week.
probability on buys.
Or is my case?
All right. Gypsy.
My turn.
Yep.
Pretty much basic with conferences which Change pointed out, buys above that
Copy
level.
that.
Yeah.
But my bias will be sells.
Sells. All right.
The trend.
All right. Fantastic. And yeah, that's actually pretty good. So your bias is completely sells. You're looking for basically this trend to and to continue, right?
The reason I was confused on sells was because I feel like it'll mirror the previous.
Yeah, I feel you on that. So let's just look at this. It's good. It's so you see how we're getting two viewpoints right over here, right? So what we need to do is just keep our mind open to both the ideas, okay? So when we do breakout of this, okay, the first thing that we're looking at is we are making higher highs, right, and higher lows, which would be the first leg of bullish market structure, okay? That'll be the first leg. So we are breaking out of range 1, right? What could happen is a fake out right back here to come back down. You get what I mean? Because we are on this level of basically the lower highs, right? So we would want to reject this level to continue making lower highs. Going to the higher time frame of 4 hours, the 4-hour time frame, look at this. The probability of rejecting this area is massive. And so looking at this region, okay, so let me just mark this to our resistance. Can you see how we've broken out and closed back below many times? So that's what you want to avoid, right? So I personally, okay, this is the personal opinion, I personally would be more happy to take some buys once we have broken out of this region for sure, but we form a support over here and then break the minor resistance that we form on this level. You get why I want to do that?
Yeah.
I don't want to get caught in a fake out by just taking the breakout candle, right? I want to see a tiny mini range form over here and adapt to this range. I want to see price adapt to this range and then take my buys up to here. Alright, we're looking for higher probability, guys. You want to look and see how price is adapting to this region, right? You want to see how price is going to move through this region. So that's beautiful. Okay, actually let's just do this on our favorite pair, GJ. I'm just going to keep it open like this. You like, which one's your favorite change?
No, man.
Okay, this time we'll let Gypsy go first. Gypsy, thoughts on GJ? What's your bias and why are you looking for that particular bias?
GJ, I'm going to say sells again until the 600 level.
Alright, 600 level to the bottom
600
of the range.
full. See if it consolidates.
Okay.
Then we'll see.
Yep.
My bias completely sells more than buys.
Yeah, that would make sense. Alright. So Gypsy is just looking for a mirror, like we've seen these candles come right down to this zone number of times. So he's looking to just capture these really kudos sells down here back to this, and that's his complete bias. Change.
No copying.
Sure, you copied me last time.
Dude, I went for sales, man.
But
Good.
yeah, I mean, excluding what Gypsy said, I look for cells. Yeah.
Okay.
That's I said I can't exclude.
No. We excluded your part.
Alright, so we're looking for sells 100%. I think, the only place we could possibly look for buys is above this region, guys. So we're looking to get above these resistances, right? Right over here, you're looking to get above these candle wicks. The safest buys, okay? The safest buys I would say would be above this region, right? Getting back into this range, right? So you can buy as soon as you re-enter, and it continues up to the top of the range, okay? But that's one safe set of buys, right? But we're also looking.
Yeah, the resistance. That resistance. What's the range over there from that to the support on top?
Yeah, 50.
No, that one, the resistance right under it. Yeah.
670.
No, support.
Oh, till here 20 pips easy.
Also possible.
Yeah. So what you could look for is, so this is what we would consider high risk buys, right? Or even if you're taking buys above this region, we're looking at high risk buys and low risk buys. You get what I mean? Because in this region there's a higher probability of price rejecting, right? Look at that. Here, right? So these are high risk buys, whereas every time we've re-entered this region and closed above, we've gone the entire 9 yards up there. Okay, so you'll have to measure it out and tell yourselves, is this a low risk trade, high risk trade, what is happening? Okay, the way I'm training you guys to trade is with, like, we're using a lot of our mind. Okay, we're going next level where knowledge is concerned. Okay, we're going next level where reasoning is concerned. I want you guys to be like on another level of reasoning. Okay, trust me, there are guys who are like, this is whatever, this is some pancake pattern because it's all flat. Some guys will be like, this is some wedge. So this is what they would call like some wedge or something. If price breaks out of this wedge, we will continue down. Some guys will say that these kind of ranges, if price breaks out of these trend lines, price is gonna go up. Okay, we are not looking to follow any patterns. We're looking to tell the story of the market. Okay, we're not looking at these lame reasons of why they've taken the trade or not. We're looking at the complete economic understanding of Forex, right? We're looking at these ranges. Okay, so what you're looking at is over here. Okay, this is a demand zone right over here, demand zone, right? Because guess what, demand, it went up, right? This is a supply zone, correct? So in this region, if there's a massive supply, okay, as seen, supply, me trying to demand over here is not gonna overpower the supply that it has given for a really long time, right? So we are telling the story that once we come up over here and join the guys who are demanding, there's a higher probability to continue up. And you notice how I'm always saying higher probability. Trading is all about probability. You can never tell 100% sure where the market is going to go. We may be confident about our trading styles because of the amount of times we've had success in certain patterns, etc. Right? Like certain breakout trades we've taken, we are like super confident on them because we've seen it happen again. That same trade may not work out like 2 out of the 5 times, right? So the higher probability trade is what you want to go for. Like 2 weeks back, I had a completely flawless week. You know, it was just gains on gains. I think it was just 4 trades that I took. Wait, let me just show this to you. I literally just took 4 trades that week. I think it was, yeah, the week before last. Just keeping it real clean, looking for those high probability trades, you know. That's what you want to do. Pum pum pum. Oh, that's my YouTube stream. There you go. Okay, so discord.gg. Alright, let's just look right over here. Just look at these trades, okay? Can you see the level? High probability trade, because this was a resistance held Asian session, London session, previous day New York session closed, faked out at New York session open. So this is, we're talking about the previous day to the next day, so that's 24 hours, right? The higher probability of breaking out of this zone after 24 hours of resistance is massive, right? So look at this high probability trade, 35 pips in a bit. High probability again. Okay, so I think this is the same trade. 1 second, let's go down. Yeah, right over here. Okay, why did I take this trade? Look at this resistance forming, higher probability because of the clean traffic, right? Higher probability. So if you look at it, if I held on to it without taking my 10 pips, it came back and stopped me out, but luckily I took it out, you know. Higher probability. The entire day we saw GU stuck in this range. We saw these lower highs, lower lows being formed. We saw the clean traffic to the left. I took it. It moved up around 15 pips. I took my 10 pips. You can see right over here. And it continued back up. What I anticipated for it was to fall down, right? But the probability of it moving 10 pips in this region is higher than it just like crashing down through the ground, right? You get what I mean? Whereas, look at this. Anticipated it to go up to this level, exactly spiked up and continued and went up, right? And guess why? Previous day, New York session close. Next morning, Asian session respected, London session respected, breakout, gone. So you all see how you all should look for the higher probability trade. It's all about that higher probability trade, okay?
Yeah.
Please tell me you could see that.
We had to open it on our own.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. I had this open the whole time. I was showing it to you all here.
Not okay.
Oh man, dude, why don't you all say something? I'm full blown explaining with these examples and
Chat does open.
huh?
I just opened it in the chat.
So it's change.
It opened simply.
This guy. You should have said something. But yeah, I'm talking about these high probability trades. High probability trades. High probability trades. High probability trades. Alright? Look for the high probability trades. Get in there. Get your money out of there. Make a good sum of money. Make sure you manage your risk. Risk management we will go into next. But lads, I need you all to just focus up. This is your one opportunity of really doing well. Okay? Make the best of it. Take safe, good trades. Be happy with 2 trades that worked out exactly the way you wanted it to work out. Right? Save yourself the stress, emotional, pressure and everything, and just go for the safe trade. Okay, go for the safe trade. Try to make your knowledge work for you rather than you trying to work for your knowledge. Okay, all right, are we goody?
That's a weird thing to say.
All right, so y'all saw what we're looking for, what we're anticipating for the week. Y'all saw how we're looking at these levels, what we're looking for, the breakout, the retest, and then the continuation is what we're expecting. Okay, change, are we good? Gypsy, we good?
I'm good.
Okay, so this week is gonna be another insane week. We're gonna I'm gonna try and focus on extending your education. All right, so anyway, lads, don't over risk, don't overtrade. This is something I always say. Risk 1 to 2%, take the safer trade, wait for your plan to work out rather than you trying to work for your plan, right? So if you're trying to work for your plan, you're just gonna try to keep doing random stuff on the chart. Wait for your plan to work out. If you plan something, wait for it. Okay, and we're gonna have an awesome week this week. Let's do some annihilation. I hope the volume kicks in this week. It's gonna be a fantastic week, but don't over this, don't overtrade. Remember everything we've spoken about today. We've had a solid plan in mind. We have a lot of stuff going forward, so yeah, so wish you all the best for this week's slate. I will put it up on my Instagram if y'all are following me. I'm gonna put it up on my Instagram if I'm gonna be streaming Asian session or not. But most likely would like to. Let's just see how it would work out. But yeah, it was a fun evening with y'all planning, processing. It's been 1.5 hours, so you can imagine the amount of time and effort we're putting into getting ready for the week. Okay, so I shall see y'all. Good night, God bless, stay humble and hustle hard.